a question arising from that report from Assembly Member Garrett.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. I know we will all be supporting the DLR extension, just as we've also supported the West London Orbital and the Bakerloo line, both of which now look increasingly dead. But you're making a big thing out of this DLR announcement today. But it's not an announcement. It's a pre-announcement of a possible announcement that might come next week in ongoing budget leaks. No actual news. There's no actual amount of money pledged. There's nothing concrete from the government. And what this looks like is a bit of news this morning to distract attention from what I'm also reading in the newspapers, which is that Londoners might be paying 10% extra council tax in order to fund the north of England. So how much actual money has the government pledged for this DLR announcement that you've just told us about?
Well, can I thank for his welcome? I think it was a welcome to the DLR extension hidden away somewhere in that speech. Look, the government has confirmed the green light to the DLR extension, and as with other projects in London, there'll be a combination of grant from the government and borrowing from the relevant sources. One of the things we've been talking to the government about is lessons from the Elizabeth line and the Northern Line extension in particular about how we can borrow against, for example, future fare receipts.
Forgive me, I wasn't looking for the potted history of everything that's ever happened. My question was, how much has the government pledged for this announcement today that you've just told us about for the DLR?
Well, the total figure for the DLR extension is obviously commercially sensitive. The government will be announcing the figure they'll be contributing over the course of the next a week. It's great news for London, and I'm surprised he doesn't want to talk up the previous transport infrastructure in this great city and the innovative ways we've helped fund that. It's our track record which has persuaded the Treasury to move on this, and I think it's a great win for those businesses, those communities and others who've been lobbying for this for many years. The previous government failed to give the green light, which I suspect is one of the reasons why he's been so churlish this morning.
Okay, so no news. Thanks, Chair.
Assembly Member Prince.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. I actually am very excited about this because, as you know, in East London we don't have many crossings, and the ones that we do we have to pay for. So the first assurance I would like to get from you is that you won't be tolling it, will you, Mr. Mayor, like all the other crossings that we have?
So it's a DLR, so you have to pay the fare for the DLR. But he raises an important point, which is the history of our cities for centuries. East London's been neglected. And that's one of the reasons why public transport in the past has been so poor in the part of the city he's really proud to represent. Just to give him some further good news, we're going to have a Superloop in advance of the DLR. He will know. Sometimes these projects take many years to fruition. So the Superloop 11 will be serving many of his constituents as well. But can I reassure him that with me as Mayor, we keep fares low?
Okay, so that concerns me a little bit, Mr. Mayor, because the project is due to open by 2032. Can I have your assurance you still won't be mayor by then? No, I don't. But can we? How confident can we be actually that this project will be on time, on budget, and that the government will help us? Because we always get moaned at about the people from the north. They always moan, "Oh, London gets more grant than anyone else," but we actually end up paying a lot of it ourselves. The Crossrail was a prime example, but. You know, with all due respect, Mr. Mayor, you haven't, well, where we come from, you haven't got a very good record of doing it on time and on budget. How can we be confident that you will do that, please?
Well, it's really important we learn the lessons of previous projects in London, those that have been incredibly successful and those where there have been issues. Let's not pretend there haven't been issues. Many of these projects take many, many years. You know, I remember being a baby minister when the Crossrail project first began. I was really pleased to cut the ribbon with that a few years ago. Transformative for our city. The Northern Line extension, the Superloop, Barking Riverside, which serves East London as well. TfL have been working on this for some time, as he knows. One of the reasons why we were keen to get this over the line is we've done the heavy lifting in relation to the advanced work. We think we can get going in earnest early next year in terms of the work required. Various powers we need, which will start going on early next year. And I think we can start construction, certainly within this mayoral term.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, are there any other members who wish to contribute? Assembly Member Boff.
I'm sure you'd extend your thanks to your predecessor for authorising the Barking Riverside extension, which you seem to have claimed responsibility for.
I'm really pleased to have worked closely with the teams that worked with the previous mayors, both Boris Johnson and Ken Livingstone, both of whom deserve huge credit for talking up our city. And the point that Keith Prince made about people in other parts of the country wrongly assume London gets everything, and both Boris Johnson and Ken Livingstone did an incredibly good job in a non-patronising way, explaining to the country why when London succeeds, the country succeeds, and vice versa. And I hope he would, in a generous way, suggest that I've also tried to do the same.
Thank you for that. We're now moving to questions to the Mayor in terms of the main part of our agenda and the priority order paper. Each group is allocated amount of time to ask their questions that's proportionate to the size of their group. The first written question is titled Your Mayoralty from Assembly Member Wilson.
Can I thank the member for his question? I promise to be mayor for all Londoners, building a fairer, safer, greener and more prosperous London for everyone. As part of that, I'm proud of what we've achieved at the GLA in delivering value for money since I was first elected. At times, I've had to take difficult decisions and find huge savings, in a large part because of previous governments made an absolute mess of our economy and public services. They cut significant funding to the Met Police, London Fire Brigade and Transport for London. Since I became mayor, for the first time in its history, Transport for London has been reducing its deficit year on year, and in 2023-2024, TfL delivered its first ever operating surplus of £138 million, which was used to fund essential investment. The work TfL have done under my mayoralty means it has delivered more than £1.8 billion in recurring savings since 2016. The Mayor's Office for Policing and Crime and the Met have delivered savings totalling over £1.2 billion. This included savings through commercial activities, greater use of technology and the delivery of efficiency savings. Some members will be aware the previous government cut Met funding by £1.1 billion in real terms since 2010. Years of funding cuts from the government means London Fire Brigade is receiving £150 million less funding this year in real terms compared to 2010. In the latest inspection report, the HMI have rated LFB to be good in both making best use of resources and making the fire and rescue service affordable now and in the future. Each year, the GLA carries out a rigorous review of expenditure for the year ahead to ensure that this expenditure does not exceed the income available. Each year, I've been able to set a balanced budget for the GLA group. These balanced budgets have been set against a backdrop of falling income. This has been managed through an annual decision-making process that ensures the GLA spending is focused on my priorities as mayor. I've also established other cost-saving measures, including the GLA Group Collaboration Programme, to ensure the GLA Group realises the maximum benefits obtainable from collaboration. The consultation budget will be published in December and will set out the total amount of savings and efficiencies that have been proposed by the GLA and other functional bodies for next year's budget. And my proposals will then be set out in my draft group budget, which will follow in January.
Thank you very much, Mr Mayor.